Hi guys, my name is Honey Asparagus, and I'm just kind of here to give you an update on my life, as it were. I actually just got accepted into Peace Corps, and I don't know if anyone would know a little bit about that, or if you just want to know what to expect in the months and years to come. But this is pretty much what this video is going to be. So it all started in May of 2015. I had graduated from Shepherd University. I applied to IBM, and I got the job, I think, in June. And I actually still wanted to apply to Peace Corps. I talked to one of my professors at Shepherd, and she was in Peace Corps and she loved it, and she encouraged me to do it because I didn't know what to do after college. And IBM was just going to be my placeholder job, and I was going to try and apply for Peace Corps. I applied, and I don't even think I got put under consideration for a project, but I didn't get a call and I didn't get an interview. But IBM was going okay, so I kept working at IBM. I was on this conversion contract, and it was really easy. If I wanted to listen to music while I worked, no one said anything. If I wanted to watch Netflix, it was fine. No one said anything as long as my work got done and I didn't mess it up. In the winter of 2016, I was actually moved to a new project called USAID, and it was actually a secret clearance project, but it was just a call center. We helped people troubleshoot issues that they had, and it was just that. It was actually really important in that environment that everyone was getting higher learning. Everyone was studying for a certification. And so the certification that I picked to study, because it was just kind of the trend, was the Security Plus exam. So I picked the weekend shifts. I had 10-hour shifts from Friday to Monday, and I was by myself, I think, for 6 hours of those shifts. I did have a partner in the beginning, in the morning, and we worked together, but she eventually left shortly after lunch. I studied, and I eventually paid the $350 for the test bundle and everything, and a retake. I took the test, and I ended up passing. And my boss was on vacation at the time, so I just took a picture of my test results, and then I sent her a text, and that was pretty much it. I heard from her maybe a couple days later. She said, "Great, let's talk about job opportunities." So my boss actually hooked me up with this job, and she was my strongest advocate, and it was for a cybersecurity job. And this job I have very mixed feelings about, and everyone knows that. The work was great, the work was amazing. I loved the work. It was just getting IPs and sorting through and creating the story of what happened within the system after you see an offense and everything, and you're just trying to figure out if it was malicious or if it was blocked, or what. It was all pretty much malicious. But it was nice. It was an investigative kind of job, and I loved that. And the people were really nice. The team was really unique, where I was on the security team, the security operations, and there would be other teams like compliance and engineering. It wouldn't be uncommon for those teams to work together. My problem with this job was the boss, actually, and he was this ex-Marine beefhead that stressed all this stuff like communication, but what he really wanted was just noise. And it was really frustrating working with him, like, all the time. You had to be doing something every second of the day, or he was on your ass micromanaging. And I hated it. So I only stayed from that job from September to April, and I turned in my resignation around January, which was a huge mistake. This job has burnt me with ever submitting a resignation ahead of time. It's like, next time if I don't like the job that much, I'm walking. And that's your fault, IBM. That's on you, because you let the employers be really shitty to their employees. I would come to work, and things like they replaced my shift without telling me what happened. They would like lock out my access to the system, and I would just show up and figure that out, and I'd have to wait hours, literally hours, for someone to fix it. It was just stuff like that every freaking day. I hated it, and I should have walked out, but everyone was just like, "No, leave a good impression." No, forget that. You hate it, you leave. Like, I am jobless, and I applied to Peace Corps again, and I got put under consideration for the Gambia project in Africa. I had the interview, and I don't think I did very well because I didn't know what to expect, so I never got a call back, and that's okay. I actually wasn't going to apply again for a while. I kind of wanted to figure out what I wanted to do, and a lot of you guys know that I planned to travel. I wanted to go to Japan in November, and Peace Corps wasn't really fitting in at that moment. And then it was, I think, around June or July, and a recruiter calls me, and she's like, "Kid, the deadline's in a day for you to apply to the new assignments. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I just wasn't going to apply this time." And she's like, "No, you need to get your stuff in." She's like, "You need to do it." And I had to rewrite my resume because, like, on the phone, she'd give me all these tips to, like, make myself more desirable, I guess. And I submitted it in on the day of the deadline. And then the next day, I got put under consideration for a project. And then the very next day, they told me that the deadline is closed and my application wasn't accepted and everything. But that was because I waited way too late to do it. So come August, I think maybe 13th, maybe the 9th, I'm not really sure. Somewhere in that time period, new assignments came up. So I looked at the new assignments, and there was nothing that really struck my eye. So I just picked to apply to go anywhere, and that's an option now, which is really awesome. You don't have to pick somewhere. You don't have to make yourself fit in the system. You can just write down everything that you can do and submit your resume, and they can sort you out, and they can put you where you're best placed. And it actually increases your odds of getting in. I applied again, and I got put under consideration for Georgia. So I pour myself over this country. I look up cultural stuff, I look up table manners, I look up the language, and I start reviewing that a little bit. I look up stuff like, you can't ride your bike in Georgia. I don't know why, but now I know, like, you can't ride your bike in Georgia. And I looked up everything. I looked up, if women can smoke, if women can drink, and they can't smoke in public, and they shouldn't drink in public, but I was told if other women are drinking, it should be okay for you to drink. So I knew stuff like that. I really did a lot of research for this one, and I was really excited. I was getting this assignment, damn it. The CPU on my computer breaks. It was awful. I couldn't even have my computer on, and for anyone that knows, the Peace Corps interviews are done over like a business Skype. I can't attend my video interview, and I can't watch this seminar that was required to watch before the interview, and I tried everything to watch this thing. I downloaded it on my phone, I tried to download the right video player, but it was in like an AFK format, and I couldn't get the video player on my phone to work. I couldn't get the ones I downloaded from an app to work. It was awful. I did try. I contact my interviewer person, and I'm just like, hey, everything's going wrong. I can't do a video interview, but I do have a cell phone. Like, I can still do a phone interview if you'd allow it. And she says, that's great. We'll do a phone interview. It's just like, this happens all the time. She's like, even when people have a computer, the video stuff normally doesn't work, and we normally have to do a phone interview anyway. August 16th, I have the interview, and I kill it. Just absolutely nail this interview. And I'll make a video later about how to nail your Peace Corps interview, but just believe me, I did awesome. Everything this woman asked me, I knew about it. If I didn't know about it, like specifically, like if it didn't apply to my country, I was able to tell her, this does not apply to Georgia, but this is what I know about that topic. That weekend, I leave for South Carolina because it's the solar eclipse, and South Carolina was in the path of totality, as it were, and I went down there to my parents' home to stay for the weekend and see my sister, and we watched the eclipse together. August 21st, the day of the eclipse, I wake up to an email, and I had just gotten my invitation to serve in Peace Corps. I was so excited. I was calling everyone, and no one was answering their phones, and it's so awful because in South Carolina, the place that we're at, there's no service. Like, you barely get any service. You can barely text people. Calls is almost impossible. It's lucky I got the email. I text my neighbors because it is like 7:30. I don't know if they're awake, and the neighbors are the best. Mike and Paula are amazing. So I text Paula, and I ask her if I can come over with my computer, and I have really great news. And she's like, 3 minutes, she's back to me. And I just like grab all my stuff, and I run over to the house, and they're like so excited. I'm just like, I got into Peace Corps, like I got my invitation to serve, and they were so happy because we had actually just talked about it last night, and everyone was so thrilled. It was amazing, and I accepted my invitation, and we got to talk about it a lot. It was pretty much the best day I've had in a long time, watching the eclipse with my sister and getting my invitation to serve in Peace Corps. All I could really do at that point was accept my invitation and give my consent to a background check. They gave me emails that said I would need to send in my fingerprint cards, but I hadn't received them yet, so there was nothing I could do there, and they weren't at my parents' house in West Virginia, so like I can't send in anything, and I think you have 2 weeks to do it or something, so I wasn't too worried about it at that point. And then they sent another email saying I would be getting medical tasks soon, which is a whole nother adventure. So there's pretty much nothing I could do except accept the invitation, read the handbook, and give my consent for background investigation. Again, I'll be volunteering in Georgia, in the country Georgia, not the state Georgia. The country Georgia is next to Turkey and the Black Sea, so if you guys need a map, you should go look at it, because it looks like a beautiful place. I just finished my medical clearance yesterday, so I'm officially now just waiting on background clearance. And I don't think that's going to be an issue since I had a secret clearance from the Department of Defense. I'm going to be gone from April 2018 to June 2020, and that's if I don't extend my contract while I'm over there. So I probably won't be able to have very many gaming videos, or if any. I'm going to try and do some before I leave and schedule them maybe weekly, and that way it'll take a lot of the stress of having a crap load of videos, like 3 a week to upload, and maybe I'll just have one 1 hour video that I've pre-recorded before I left that you guys can watch. But if I do get any time to record anything, it's probably going to be about my experiences in Georgia, and I hope that's okay with you guys. I know it's a little bit different, but it'll be something neat to follow, and hopefully with the games supplementing that, you'll enjoy it a little bit too. So for more Peace Corps updates, I have my blog, which is in the description below, and you guys should really check it out for more information. I have a lot of the medical tasks and everything uploaded there, and I describe that process a little bit more in detail. That's about it for the Peace Corps video of my acceptance and my journey to get there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, thumbs up and a subscribe. And again, there's links below in the description, and you can check it out along with my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, do you like that video? Share with your friends. Have a grievance? Tell me about it. Otherwise, like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Thanks for watching.